Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Scott Luton, Greg White with you here on Supply Chain Now. Welcome to today's live stream. Gregory, you're looking a lot more colorful than usual today.
This is my Scott Luton birthday tribute. I decided I would bust out the colors like you do. And happy birthday, by the way, in case anybody out there doesn't know. It's Scott's 29th birthday.
I love it. 29th, too. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
Oh, gosh. Hey, we've got a special guest. We got the one and only Colin Yankee tuned in.
Whoa,
He says,
nice. That's outstanding, man. Thanks for doing
flight
that.
is delayed in the Denver airport. Gets to listen in on the first part of today's show. Well, Colin, welcome. And
Yeah, we have been talking about Tractor Supply in our home lately. So
right.
It's really interesting. We have in our neighborhood, they have a horse barn and everything. And one of our neighbors has a horse that needs ivermectin. And when he went to Tractor Supply to buy it, they said, "Is this for you or is this for the horse?" So apparently ivermectin is somewhat effective treatment for COVID. So fascinating where that comes from.
Well, speaking of companies on the move, the Tractor Supply Company is on the move, and they're doing some really cool things from a supply chain perspective. We'll have to have Colin on once again. He joined us probably an episode a couple months back. But anyway, safe travels to you, Colin.
Yeah.
And we look forward to reconnecting soon. Welcome to everybody. We're going to give some other shout outs here momentarily. So today we've got a big guest that's going to join us in about 20 minutes, Greg. Aaron Meredith with Verusen, the maker of the Material Truth, which I love that phrase.
Yes.
Verusen is on the move as well, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. They deal with indirect and direct materials, all the stuff that keeps the supply chain running. I mean, everything from the pulleys and belts to the raw materials and products that go into those finished goods that go in the boxes that come to your front porch or that you pick up in the store.
That's right. And in these challenging, ever challenging, record breaking, challenging times of maintaining the right levels of inventory, I tell you, that's one of the things really powering what they do. So stand by as we'll be bringing on Aaron Meredith, their executive industry advisor with Verusen, here in about 20 minutes. But before we do that, Greg.
Yes, Scott.
We better share a couple of upcoming events, and then we're going to say hello to folks, and then we're going to get to the news of the day with Aaron. So let's see here. So I want to start with this. I stole this on Mediocrities from our friend Donna Krejci. Donna's wonderful. If you're not following Donna on social, you're missing at least a good joke a day. And that sense of humor is so neat. So I love this.
That's hilarious.
And Donna, I hope this finds you well. And by the way, let's see, Donna's daughter and a big friend of the show, Allison, had tuned in. Allison, thank you very much.
She was just on last Thursday, right?
I know.
It was all Allison Thursday.
That's right.
That was that live stream.
Yes, it was. And Allison, thanks for joining us and love what you do. Looking forward. We've got some big interviews with folks with Peloton, Mattel, and others that Allison and I are going to be tackling in the weeks ahead. Okay. On a more serious note, folks, y'all got to join us August 31st. That's next week for a webinar that starts at 11:30 Eastern time on a data-driven approach to smarter deals with our friends from Enable, which, Greg, by the way, I think they just announced either a $35 or $45 million fundraise. How about that?
$45 million. Yeah. So on their way to being a unicorn as well. So we'll have to check it out. I don't remember what their valuation was there, but it was big.
Yes, very big. Join us next week, and you're going to get a chance to see what's causing all that ruckus.
Yeah.
August 31st, 11:30 Eastern time, free to join, link in the show notes. And then we're going to touch on this after Aaron joins us towards the end of the show, but October 5th, we got a little more runway here. October 5th, State of the Supply Chain Report. There's going to be some key takeaways from a ton of research and survey findings and other market intel that we're going to be presenting from Verusen on the 5th. Is that right, Greg?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they, like you said, they've got their finger on the pulse of every aspect of the supply chain from the start to the end. And they've put out this survey, which I think we have or will shortly drop a link for. So if you are inclined to give your thoughts on the supply chain, sign up.
Please do. And the links it's easy too. It's not going to take you 3 hours. Amanda Clay.
Did you do it? Did you
Not
do the
yet.
survey? Okay.
I'm doing.
I'm not sure if we're really allowed because we don't really do any work anymore, do we?
Oh gosh. But Amanda, drop the link there in the comments, and we'd love for y'all to share what you're seeing as part of that State of Supply Chain report. Okay, that webinar is October 5th. The link to join is in the show notes. Hey, the momentum is building for Larsa Series annual event, Supply Chain Insights Global Summit, coming up in September, just a couple weeks away. We're hosting exclusively the virtual feed of the event, and it's going to be highly interactive. We got 2.5 days. Greg, we're not talking about 1 million people. It's going to be a very friendly audience. We're all going to be kind of eating our popcorn, drinking our Diet Coke, enjoying the content, and then we're going to be having conversations remotely, kind of exchanging how the keynotes and the panel sessions all resonate with us. So join us. And Greg, talk about the business case for joining us.
I mean, this is not theoretical. What you're going to learn is not theoretical. It is practical from practitioners. It's from people who are planning demand, who are executing these plans, who are executing the execution of these plans, building these plans. So it is the people doing the work. It's not just the people setting the goals or running the companies. And I think that's really the magic here is there's something that you can take away from this that you can apply to your job that very day.
Love that. So y'all check that out. The link to sign up is in the show notes. It's also Supply Chain Insights Global Summit.com.
Oh, and look out, because tomorrow I'm going to share a few thoughts of my own via my supply chain commentaries about what's going on at this thing and, why it's worth doing.
Love that. Love that. Let's say hello to a few folks, and then I've got one more announcement, and then we're going to be having Aaron Meredith join us. So our dear friend Kelly Barner, host of Dial P for Procurement, is with us here today, getting back from the Cape, as it were, last week, I think, Greg.
Was that last week? Yeah, I think. Was she at the Cape again? Dang.
Highfalutin.
Yeah.
Kelly would break our legs if she heard us say that. So, Kelly, great to have you here. Appreciate all that you do. Sophia is with us here today. Good morning to you. Great to have you. Talk about a industry ambassador, supply chain ambassador. Sophia is,
and she's turned her twin sister, into one as well, right?
That's right.
So that's what's really cool.
That's right, Andrea. Peter Bolay, all night and all day, is with us. Happy 18th birthday! I appreciate that, Peter. We're getting even younger. Although, if I had to choose, going back to 18 versus going back to 29, it would definitely be 29, not 18. 18 is just too wild and crazy for me. How about you, Greg?
I'm not against wild and crazy.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate that. And I appreciate, Peter, you sharing the golf tournament, charity golf tournament that you're a part of coming up soon. Kelly Barner is doing the dad joke count.
Yeah.
Get that counter ready. It might be smoking by the end of today's session.
By the end of this session.
So,
even Aaron might contribute one. You just never know.
Who knows? Allison can't stay away from you wild and zany kids. That sounds like an old Nickelodeon show. Okay. So we're going to say hello to a few more folks here momentarily, but I want to share something. We publish, Greg, an episode of This Week in Business History every Monday at first thing in the morning. So we kind of we got creative on the approach to this week's episode. So growing up, my granddad's birthday was August 21st, and my birthday was the 23rd, and we lived in the same town. I was very spoiled. I got to grow up in the same town with all four of my grandparents, which is a luxury these days, right?
Yeah, it is. You're right.
So usually the Sunday afternoon around these birthdays, we'd be having dinner at my granddad and grandmom's house, and we'd celebrate both birthdays together. And, it was more about cake and stories than anything else, and good company. And I missed that. And I'd kind of forgotten about that simple pleasure in life until my mom had reminded me over the weekend. So what we did is we built a brief show around what I consider to be the gold standard of leadership and humanity and generosity, which is my granddad, Dick Rutland. So we kind of track his his journey from, managing a Winn-Dixie store, which, my dad and I ended up working at Winn-Dixie's in our journeys, getting out of that because he was working 7 days a week and he had 5 kids and it was pulling time away from his family. So he happened to join Kimberly-Clark's at the time, their new plant in Aiken County, South Carolina. And that's where he retired from. And as a machine operator, kept him busy all the time. And he did it by the book, as I was reminded by my Uncle Richard over the weekend too. If you got a 30-minute lunch break, he wouldn't take it more than 29 minutes, 30 seconds.
Because it took a minute to walk back to the machine, right?
Right. But we need more people like Dick Rutland in any time in history, but especially now. He never.
So when does that drop, Scott?
It dropped today. It dropped
today.
Today.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And there's so much I wanted to share with folks about Dick Rutland that I knew, because you'd never hear it from him. But, we wrap each show with that do good, give forward, and be the change. And that's a mix of my mantra and certainly what we've heard Greg talk about, give forward and how to give forward. And, he is the embodiment of folks that did that and did it right and didn't tell the world. You'd never know about it. You'd never know about it. So I invite y'all to check out 5 key components of Dick Rutland's business journey on This Week in Business History, which you can find wherever you get your podcast from. I appreciate you indulging me as I kind of took a departure from our normal course, but you're going to learn some cool things about Solo Cup and Winn-Dixie and Kimberly-Clark and Buick of all companies. So all that played a role in this gold standard of a person, Dick Rutland. So
that's really interesting, because that makes me think of something.
What?
That all of that, that discussion. First of all, Dick Rutland, what a name for a business history lesson, right? I mean, it's hard. You can just hear him saying, "Hi, I'm Dick Rutland."
That's right. Oh, man.
But you made me think of something, and that is, when you were talking about sharing time and sharing stories. So here's the thing, Scott. Over this weekend, a few of us, prompted by somebody who cares about you a whole lot, may have gotten together and may have put together shared a little bit of time and put some thoughts together for you. So if you got just a minute here,
Lord have mercy.
Hit it.
Happy birthday, Scott. I know that making a big deal out of your birthday is the last thing that you like to do on your birthday, but we could not let this day go by without celebrating you, letting you know how wonderful you are, and letting you know how much we love you and how important you are to us. I don't think that a lot of wives could honestly share how much they love working with their husbands, but I'm really one of the lucky ones that we get to go to work together in our own separate offices, of course, every day, and really enjoy building a business together. Let's see, what else do I have here? You're an incredible leader, wonderful father, an amazing partner and husband. Love you very much, and just want to wish you an extra happy birthday.
Hey, Scott. It's Kevin here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to wish you a happy birthday here from the Digital Transformers Studio. Hope you're having a great birthday. We've started a little early here from the studio, but maybe you can catch up. Happy birthday!
Hey Scott, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Amanda set us up for this, so I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I hope you enjoy it with the family and Amanda. And best wishes always. It's been great getting to know you and working with you on supply chain now these past few months. I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, I mean, I can sing you maybe something in Spanish, like Las Mañanitas, which is like a traditional song to sing for happy birthday. It's like the happy birthday song. I don't know if you've heard it, but Feliz cumpleaños, and yeah, I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and best wishes always. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Scott. I hope you have a great birthday and you have something planned with your kids and Amanda and, of course, your dogs.
Hey, Scott. Happy birthday. Congratulations on your accomplishments with Supply Chain Now and personally in having a wonderful family. Cheers.
Happy birthday, Scott. Thanks for making Supply Chain Now such a great place to work. Have a great day.
I just wanted to jump on here and say happiest of birthdays from Cincinnati, Ohio, the home of the Cincinnati Reds. Oh, wait, wrong team. Anyways, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day with your family, and thank you for being an awesome and fearless leader.
Scott, please excuse the beach bum attire, but I just had to wish you a happy birthday. So listen. You make this world a better place, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you, with Tech Talk and Supply Chain Now. So Scott, happy birthday. Buckle up and enjoy this next ride around the sun.
Hey, Scott, happy birthday. You know, when you think about what birthdays are, they're really a celebration of time. Congratulations, you made it another year, right? So in terms of giving yourself a gift today, give yourself the gift of time. Spend some time with Amanda and the kids. Spend some time in that beautiful garden of yours. Spend some time definitely admiring the birds at your bird feeder and even telling a couple of dad jokes. But most importantly, make the most of your time today so that you can look back on this day for the upcoming year. You're one of the nicest guys in supply chain, and you deserve this. So very happy birthday. Enjoy your day.
Happy birthday, Scott! Hey, it is great sharing this vision with you at Supply Chain Now and bringing all this incredible information to all these practitioners in the industry and being the voice, or at least with the voice of supply chain. So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Happy birthday.
As the board of directors for Supply Chain Now, we wish our CEO, Dad,
a very happy birthday.
We love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
That was awesome. First off, I love all of y'all, and I mean that from the pit of my being. This has been a remarkable journey, and it's all about the people that we're sitting beside, the people that are in the green room right now, the people that are in the comments, all the people out there making it happen right now, so we can get what we need through these crazy times. And so that was really special. I appreciate that. And those kids, our kids, all of our collective kids, that's what it's really all about, right? Passing along what we learn and the values that and stories we pick up along the way so that they can do things better than we ever did, so ever do. But Greg, it's an honor, man.
Likewise.
Just talking about Dick Rutland and the gold standard, but the people we are able to collaborate with on this team, that a lot of special people, very special people. So thank you, all of y'all that sprung that. Thank you.
Yeah, you can give your wife that extra special thank you afterward because it was all her idea.
Yeah.
I know she's in the office next door. So do you need to? Yeah, I was going to say, do you need a minute?
I'm good. So we got a bunch of good news here today. We're going to be tackling some of the heavy hitting news, but I just learned something here talk about a special people. We love Azalea and many others, and as they offer up their smart takes in these conversations. Holy cow, she got married Saturday.
What
in the world? That's awesome. And I believe drop this in the comments. I believe you're moving to Nashville. I'm hoping you were kind of looking for some places as I think housing's all of us are in a bit of a housing crunch. But let us know what you're looking for and if you found it. But most importantly, congratulations. That is a lucky gentleman to marry a very smart, intelligent lady like Azalea.
Yeah, no doubt. Congratulations. Big day.
And I agree with you. Let's see here.
So Scott, I have to ask you, or I want you to tell this story. Actually, I already know the answer, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. What's the deal with the new backdrop? Is that a birthday gift from or to you?
We had a couple of big interviews last week. We can't let them out of the can just yet.
Yeah.
But in doing so, a team was sent out here at the home studio, and I got some great feedback. And feedback, as Kelly and all of us know, is a blessing. And so it kind of, after we knocked that out and they departed, got to thinking, it would be nice to show a little more humanity in the backdrop. I love our logos, and most importantly, I like the convenience of just how easy it is to create content with a boring backdrop. But it kind of stemmed from some feedback we got last week.
That's awesome. It looks great, man. I love it.
Wow, I appreciate it. And right here, Clay Phillips.
There it is.
We got Clemson, Georgia coming up just around the corner. Clemson, the first team ever to go 15-0 in college football. We'll see if they can do it again. But quick, I want to finish the earlier note. So Nashville bound, Ozzy is still searching. So if y'all have any heads up market intel on a place, apartment, condo, house, you name it, in the Nashville area, hook up with Ozzy Davis. Okay.
I can't help much with real estate, but I can help with fried bologna sandwiches. Robert's fried bologna sandwiches on Broadway. First of all, it doesn't matter what kind of music you like. You can find about anything you want. Country music, of course, is predominant there. And Ozzy, you'll have to get a pair of cowboy boots. You just have to. But you can wear them anywhere in Nashville. It doesn't matter what kind of music you like.
That's right. That is right. Okay. Well, I think we've had enough fun for this episode of The Buzz. We've got to get to work, Greg. Are you ready?
I think work is fun. Let's do it.
Work is fun, especially when you got brilliant people that we're going to learn from.
Yeah.
So today, Greg, special
Yes,
guest, Aaron Meredith, Executive Industry Advisor with Verusen. So a little bit about Aaron, and I'm not going to do it full justice, but I want to kind of tee things up a bit. He brings more than 20 years of experience and expertise. We don't go over 20 years, right? We don't
Well,
specify.
when you see Aaron, you'll never believe that he's been in any business for 20 years. First of all, he's holding up pretty darn well.
Really well.
Yeah.
So more than 20 years experience, especially in manufacturing, engineering, supply chain, and more sectors. He's a smart dude. He holds bachelor's degrees in chemical engineering that never would let me touch engineering curriculum, as well as pulp and paper science and technology, both of those from NC State. That's just a couple.
Wow.
He's lived and worked in 3 different countries, including, Greg, this is new to me, he spent 2 years as a Peace Corps volunteer. So I want to welcome in Aaron Meredith with Verusen. Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, good. Happy birthday.
Well, I appreciate that. You never know what surprises supply chain or supply chain programs may bring every Monday morning, and we got surprised a little bit here today.
That was amazing. This painting didn't exist until that video came on, and it just like flew out of my head. It was amazing.
I love it.
I do love the placement of that. That's brilliant.
I do too. Yeah, and of course you're tuned in right now, Aaron, via the new Verusen headquarters in Atlanta. The supply chain city, right?
Yeah. We're here in Tech Square. Got some new office digs we moved to in June. Room for growth. So it's great. It's fun.
All right. So, I said a moment ago, we've already had our fun, but we're gonna warm things up with a couple of what we like calling this a lightning round. So, Aaron, believe it or not, it is National Sponge Cake Day. Greg said when he first read that, he thought it was he was thinking SpongeBob Day. We're going to spend some time talking about SpongeBob, but I want to talk desserts because our group here loves food, and of course, you got to love desserts. So, what's the best? I'm going to ask you both the best dessert recommendation that you'd share with our community here.
Hey, I'm pretty simple on that front. Give me a good dark chocolate ganache. That's all I need.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Awesome.
Greg?
My wife's cherry pie is outstanding. Completely stolen recipe, and she improved on it. With vanilla ice cream, like homemade vanilla ice cream beside it. Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Excuse me.
And Peter, yes, hug a day friend too. I heard. So everybody, as comfortable as folks are, give some hugs to your friends. Okay. So, and also y'all check out Supply Chain Chow, our food only community on Facebook. We'll have to expand that a bit. It's been some fun conversations. Okay. So we've touched on football a moment ago. So Aaron, you are an alum of NC State, the home of the Wolfpack, home of one half of the Textile Bowl for decades and decades back when Clemson and NC State would tangle. What's going on with NC State football? To give us a quick prediction, and then I want to get into your a tailgate tradition.
Hey, we've got 2021 starters returning. Clemson's got to come through Raleigh this year, so look out.
Oh boy,
got a stud at quarterback. He looked good before he got hurt last year, so I think we're flying a little under the radar right now, which that's all right.
That's always a good thing.
This should be one of the better teams we've had for quite a while, though.
I don't think people know that the original stop of the great Russell Wilson was North Carolina State. Of course, he finished his college career at Wisconsin. Is that right?
Yeah.
But because he had an extra year of eligibility and all of that.
Yeah.
But
NC State's known as quarterback university. We got like five QBs in the NFL. So
Phillip Rivers, of course.
Rivers, Mike Glennon, Ryan Finley's in there now. Russell Wilson. So
I heard that
Jacoby Brissett, he was playing with the Dolphins the other day. Against the Falcons, the exhibition game. He's an NC State guy.
Yeah, probably was winning because the Falcons have not been good.
Low bar.
Phillip Rivers is talking about coming back out of retirement, so we'll see.
I hope he plays in the AFC West because the Chiefs haven't gotten enough opportunities to pound him into the dirt.
Man, Aaron. Oh, all right.
It's not an NC State thing. It's a Phillip Rivers thing. I loved him in college.
All right. So let's talk. Aaron, when you were going to those NC State football games back when you were matriculating through those really tough programs, you might have been studying on Saturdays. I don't know. I know I would have had to. But what was a key tradition, whether it was a hole-in-the-wall bar or a food, or what was a tradition?
Yeah, I mean, it was tailgating at the stadium, right? I mean, I'd never experienced anything like that, but tens of thousands of people around the stadium. It's next to the North Carolina State Fairgrounds, so lots of room, all the RVs out. Pig pickings. I didn't know what that was till I got to North Carolina. I mean, big old.
What is that?
In there, it's amazing. So.
Well, you put the whole pig, or at least a whole side of the pig, and you cook the whole thing, and then you're able to kind of mix it all up, so you get all kinds of different textures and crumblies, as they call it. It's just a it's a wonderful way to eat.
Coming from Kentucky, I thought I'd eaten critters every way there was to eat them until the pig picking came about. So.
Oh gosh. Just anything but chitlins. Anything but chitlins. We'll save that for a later discussion.
What?
You've never heard of chitlins, Greg?
No, I love them.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
Man, okay. We're gonna have to dive in deeper. I'm surprised to hear that. I'll have to get your chitlin stories. Okay. Well, let's get down to business. I'll tell you, we've had too much fun this first 30 minutes of the Supply Chain Buzz. We've got
30 minutes already. It has.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Yeah,
we've got one heck of a subject matter expert in Aaron Meredith here with us today. We're going to pick his brain as we walk through some of the news stories of the day. I'm going to put this up here first. So rest assured, folks, as I share this, we're running out of a lot of things, but toilet paper thus far is not
one of them. That's right.
We want to have fun with this image here, but you might be surprised at this list of 9 other things as assembled by Money Talks News, where we're really having some extra struggles when it comes to inventory. So, Aaron, what were a couple things that may have surprised you on this list?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. We hear about it a lot in the industry, computer chips. We've talked about that a lot. But tennis balls, paper bags, dogs are in short supply. They are illegally importing dogs in the U.S. right now, which the CDC is trying to control. But, I think the pandemic has just had such a broad impact on every aspect of our lives that it's truly, supply chain problems everywhere, right? So as soon as I can't get a dog anymore, I know I've really got problems. So
yeah.
Well,
tennis balls too. Here in Atlanta, you guys know that tennis is huge. Yes, and that's a good heads up. I'm going to have to head to Costco later.
Yeah.
Well, we can't interrupt the play of two tennis champions, Greg White and Vicky White, who have won more Wimbledons this side of the Atlantic Ocean than any others. So we can't interrupt those games, can we, Greg?
Atlanta Wimbledons, yes. And Vicky shames me by the number of city championships she has in Alta.
I know. So, I was just talking to Vicky last week about it. But on a more serious note, I mean, nurses were on this list, right? Mm-hmm. Because of all the this, that, and the other. Paper bags, which I think one of y'all shared. I read a story not too long ago about McDonald's was running out of paper bags because folks were still wanting to eat in a restaurant, but they didn't want to reuse the plastic tray. They wanted it in the bag, and that's one of the things that's causing them to run out of bags. And then finally, I bet our friend Ward Richmond, Greg, is doing well because industrial real estate is on the list, right?
It is indeed. Yeah, as people try to build out fulfillment centers and those are often in industrial complexes, or they're building out kind of a mid-tier warehouse or something like that. It's incredible.
Yep. Blood is on the list. So folks, if you are able to donate blood, now's the time. Now is the time. So, all right. So we're going to talk about computer chips, of course, is also on the list. We're going to circle back on that on our third story that we're going to cover with Aaron. Hey, Aaron, before we move to the next story, anything else about this list of 9 or the times we're navigating through?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is just like it's things you didn't think about, right? I think we're all getting caught off guard, not just in our day-to-day businesses and operations, but it's impacting our lives at home. And it's huge. I mean, big global connected community. Somebody drops a rock somewhere, we feel it other side of the world, right?
No kidding. Yeah. Now is the time for extra empathy for sure. So we've been chatting about this article, 9 things that are in short supply in August, courtesy of Money Talks News. I want to move right along to this next piece. So we're talking about Mesa Airlines. According to Aviation Week Network, new one for me, is reporting that Mesa Airlines is really struggling with the spare parts shortage for one of its particular airframes, the Bombardier CRJ 900, which they just, I believe the last one came off the production line back in April or March. They just stopped producing it. But Aaron, tell us more about this story.
Yeah, I mean, this one hits a little near and dear to everyone who flies a lot, right? Because, this is going to result in delays and, they had normal turnaround times, 25, 30 days for maintenance, regular maintenance. And now it's like 60, 65 days just to get parts in. So, and all the downstream ramifications that come along with that, right? And, I think that ultimately, I think it was Sandra McQuillan on your show once said that, supply chain begins and ends with the customer. And ultimately, Mesa's customers are going to be upset because they're going to be disappointed from these parts outages. So, this stuff has big ramifications for all of our businesses.
Yeah. That was Sandra and I bet Greg. Greg loves to talk about, I agree with him. Greg, how do you put it? The consumer.
The supply chain begins and ends with the consumer, right?
Thank you.
So it's interesting because this Canadair regional jet has become the de facto short and mid-haul vehicle for a lot of these quote-unquote regional airlines. They may carry a Delta or an American flag, but Mesa and other companies are often the operating entities of these things. So it will start impacting the big airlines because they are Delta branded flights. They're American, United, whatever, Delta or whatever labeled flights. And they are the ones taking you from Atlanta to Wichita or Atlanta to Jacksonville, sometimes some of these smaller and regional airports. But it is a great vehicle for that kind of mid-haul business flight. And some of the ones that are still profitable when you use a jet like that, but smaller customer volumes. And the CRJ 900 is the largest of those airframes as well. So it is going to impact the ability for them to fulfill those flights that are bigger, but yet too small for a 737 or something like that.
Greg, of course, Bombardier has manufactured in Wichita for quite some time.
Yeah.
and I was trying to see if Wichita ever produced parts for these planes. I couldn't really get. I was trying to find the manufacturing history for the frame, but I imagine something was made for this plane in Wichita. You think?
I would imagine, if only spare parts. So a buddy of mine, Brian Detain, works for a company that does landing gear for a number of major aircraft suppliers. And I can't say for certain, but I know that it's possible that Bombardier is one of the brands that they operate for. So,
I found out last week, I was talking to somebody that works for Rolls-Royce, and, for a Rolls-Royce jet engine, 30,000 parts from 10,000 suppliers.
Wow. That's quite the explosion when you think about it like that. I mean, that is a lot of potential points of failure in a supply chain, right?
Right. Man. Just one engine.
Wow.
Gulfstream, made down there in the Savannah area, uses Rolls-Royce engines. And I was thinking, I toured there, Greg and Aaron. It's been a couple of years. Had an association friend of mine that was able to get a group in, and it's remarkable the levels of service that they promise. If the as they described it to me, if the coffee holder or the coffee maker in his machines goes down, they can have a team out in less than 24 hours, and that's the level of service for those Gulfstream customers. Right. It really is remarkable.
Yeah, they're out there quick, like a G6.
Yes.
So.
Well, and they've got part of the place we toured was kind of like a NASA tracking room, right? Because as they were tracking where the needs were, where it really was an impressive operation. And you know what, Peter Bollet, speaking of airlines and aviation, the article itself that Aaron's talking about here in Aviation Week Network, it was a Canadian Airlines. Let's see here. Yeah, Canadian Air, CRJ.
Canada Air Regional Jet. That's what they're called. That's what CRJ stands for. Mm-hmm. So they were originally constructed for Canada.
How about that?
Right.
Canada Air.
Well, and Peter's sharing here. Y'all bear with me as I try to decipher this. So they disallow, I guess Canada Air disallows PMA parts manufactured authority, which he says are a ton cheaper than the OEM part, even if they're the exact same part from the same manufacturer, but doesn't have the same stamp on it. Aaron, you're shaking your head. Is that ringing a bell for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just another constraint in your supply chain you've got to manage through, right? I mean, God, 10,000 suppliers, 30,000 parts for anything is a bear to manage, right? All that risk. I mean, we hear all the time from our customers about, wanting to be able to better assess supplier risk, given all the disruptions we had. And that's a bit of an elephant, right?
Massive. And as you and Greg both were pointing to, this isn't like if a toy were to break, nothing, there's not going to be a massive ripple effect, right? Gosh, you're talking about keeping 200, 300, lives safe in the air, and of course everything around them. So, failure is not an option, right, Greg?
That's right. I mean, it's that important, right? I mean, this is the equivalent of flying medical supplies. It's literally life or death.
Right.
So, it's really important, and that's why even though PMA parts are essentially the same as OEM parts, that's why some of the makers, Rolls-Royce in particular, Aaron, that they don't want those. As I think what Peter is saying is they are the exact same part, but they are not stamped Rolls-Royce.
Right.
So, and of course that allows them, that's that whole provenance thing we talk about in the supply chain. That allows them to verify the provenance of those parts and that they are fully legitimate.
Yeah.
We're getting all of Greg's favorite sayings.
Keywords, right? It's Keyword Monday. Happy birthday, Scott. Here's what I'm going to give you is 100 keywords.
Breaking it back to second grade. We got those flashcards with our vocabulary words on them. All right. So, Aaron, before we move to this next story, and then, of course, we're going to get to some things that the Verusen team is involved in, any last words on what the aviation industry is fighting through?
I mean, it's just another manifestation of what we're fighting through everywhere, really. I mean, drop off in demand, changes in manufacturing, things bouncing back quicker than expected. I mean, pilots, airlines trying to get pilots. Good friend of mine trains pilots for Delta.
Right.
They've retired a bunch of 757s and MD-88s, and now have to retrain them on 737s and A350s, and it takes time.
Yes. Where's my stuff? The theme of what we're getting through here lately. AA, good. Hey, Mohib, great to see you here today. Hope this finds you well out in Wichita. He says, I recently found out that the jet engine blades are nothing more than small wings compressing air to high pressure before combustion. Sweet, he says.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's like an open air turbo is essentially what a jet is.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah.
Let's see here. Peter's given us a history note here. The original CRJ 100 50-seaters were flown by Air Canada for years. We had to re-engineer many items that were made for infrequent flight cycles, like the handbrake kept bending. We had to beef it up and replace them all. I bet.
Wow.
Peter, you got to write a book, Peter. He spent, I'm going to get this wrong, I think 25 years at Air Canada.
Yeah.
You got to write a book. Okay. I want to bring this next story in because we're talking about one of, again, what I would call the TP of 2021. We're talking about computer chips, and it's the challenge. It keeps on getting bigger and bigger. This time, though, Toyota has announced it's cutting production in Japan by 40%, 40% in September due to the chip shortage. So, Aaron, tell us more about this problem here.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been talked about a ton, but cars are basically becoming electronic devices, right? So, and now competing for the same components that go into other electronic devices, and we've got sensors and all types of things driving the Industry 4.0 revolution too. So, and once again, there's just a massive bullwhip effect, drop off in demand or perceived drop off in demand that came back fast, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. But I think what I've noticed reading a lot of these articles, though, too, is that we're talking about the problems and the ramifications of it, how long it's going to go on, but you don't see a whole lot of talking about, well, what's actually being done to keep this from happening again, right?
So, on that point, Greg, I think we're about going to say the same thing. You go, Greg. You go.
No, I want to hear what you have to say. It's your birthday. Go, Shawty.
Well, you say it a lot better. You got it in there. Love that. You say it a lot better because, as Aaron is pointing out, a lot of the writers, a lot of the media are kind of telling the facts as they are, but they're not getting to the root cause or not getting to the real factors and of why we are where we are. But Greg, make your point.
Yeah, I think as regards semiconductors and automobiles, part of the issue was that TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, very creative name, and yet incredibly descriptive of what they do. So they were ready to produce semiconductors, and at least American automakers, or at least those making cars in America, were saying, yeah, produce, and we'll let you know when we need them, but we're going to need them fast when we do. But we're not going to make a commitment vis-a-vis a PO, by the way, but we want you to go ahead and make those. And you can trust us. And I mean, that is the root of this problem. Is the automakers, in their defense, they undertook the noble initiative to start to manufacture PPE and ventilators and the like, and in a time when we were in great need. But when it came back around, it was their actual operation of their supply chain and the lack of transparency therein that has caused this problem. And my suspicion, and I have no data to support this, but my suspicion is that there is somewhat of a bidding war for who's going to get the next round of chips, right? And whoever is the highest bidder at this point is getting the chips. And with the number of vehicles that GM and Ford and other big automakers have sitting on the sidelines just waiting for a chip so they can start the vehicle, I imagine that there is quite a competitive marketplace right now. So somebody who knows the data can probably tell us more. But can I also state that, and Aaron, you may be aware of this, but I think this was a brilliant solution by the people of Brilliant Solutions, Ford Motor Company, right? Quality is job one, folks. And that is they are prioritizing people who are ordering vehicles. Remember the old days when your parents ordered a Buick with orange interior and green paint? Now you can order your vehicle and you get priority because you are a sold customer.
Mm-hmm.
You get priority in getting your chip into your vehicle. And I think that is a really, really smart way of doing things. And in this age of personalization, right, you can get your Nikes any way you want. Doing so with your vehicle, I think, puts you at the front of the line. And I think people are starting to get the value of that. And because there are so many cars that are this close, literally this close, or maybe smaller depending on the size of the chip, right, to being completed, it's a really, really smart strategy. I like it.
Yeah, it's still reactive though, ultimately, right? I mean,
it is now. I wonder if they couldn't make it a predictive methodology, right?
Yeah, going forward, I mean, because you're not going to come out of this anytime soon, right? It's going to take some time. But yeah, I read another article over the weekend, came out a couple of days ago from Industry Week that started to chip away a little bit at the root causes of this, and was basically saying, they were talking about the automakers, and they said the problem is they're still doing what they've always done business practice wise, right? And they're not leveraging things like cloud computing, or we talk about visibility and transparency, but how do you actually do that? And what does that actually mean? And that's the nut that a lot of these folks just haven't cracked, right? And you can't just say, okay, tomorrow, okay, we're going to enable visibility and transparency and everything's going to be better. How do you do that?
Right. Well, I think it's funny you say that, Aaron, especially coming from your perspective, because you work with a lot of these manufacturers at Verusen, and what I have seen is the demand for nearly one-way transparency. The automakers, for instance, they want to know everything about their suppliers, supply chain. They want to know everything about their dealer's supply chain, and yet they don't equally share the knowledge of their supply chain. I did see an article last week, and I did one of my summaries, I think it was Friday or Wednesday, on it, and they are starting to actually open the kimono and share their plans, even their designs, for instance, with some of these semiconductor companies. And I think that, while a nascent gesture, is an important change of business for a lot of these automakers, because it is largely, as you're saying, their lack of transparency that has negated the transparency value of their trading partners up and downstream in the supply chain.
Right. And, but there's got to be a mechanism to do that too that's effective.
Yeah.
That both parties can engage with, right?
Yeah.
If you're actually going to make it work.
It's got to be seamless, and it's got to be really a network, right?
Right.
I mean, it really needs to be a singular platform where everyone can do that. You don't want to have to integrate 10,000, literally, I was trying to be hyperbolic, but literally 10,000 different platforms to get people communicating with one another.
Yep.
Right.
All right. I got to share the exchange with Peter and Mohib. Peter says, back on the aviation front, he says that they're testing these engines by tossing in the frozen turkeys to resist air strikes.
Yep.
And Mohib says, or make turkey dinner. Ha ha. And then talking about the vehicles, Peter says, he's on a roll here today, folks. Don't get in his way. He says, soon we can buy a brand new 2021 vehicle in 2023. And, that's a little bit tongue in cheek. However, if you drive by, so Maxi Price is a dealership out here in Loganville. And they made a long running successful campaign about where's Loganville on the radio. And because it's where this mega dealership was. We get our car service there. They used to have a couple of acres of commercial vehicles. None. They used to have a huge selection of Tahoes. Hardly. I mean, now used cars is probably the most that they've got on this big dealership. And it, I wish it was just isolated to one, but you go drive past a lot of these dealerships these days, and it's illustrating the points you both are making. Or Peter's saying, soon enough, you can get a brand new 2021 customized in 2023. But Aaron, you're shaking your head. We're all seeing the same thing, right?
No, that's it. I also had a little static on my line there for a second. Not sure what happened, but
that's okay. Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
It's funny because my middle daughter and I are both, she's much more close to being in the market for a car right now. Her 2013 vehicle is worth more now than it was 2 years ago. That's absolutely unheard of.
Wow.
I mean, unless you're driving a classic, right? It's absolutely unheard of for a used car to be worth more 2 years after, 2 years later. That's just incredible. And I'm hoping the same applies for me because my car's almost as old as hers. But what I learned was I was talking to a dealer Friday or over the weekend and said, hey, this is what I'd like to get. And he said, oh, yeah, definitely. We can get you that probably June of next year. Nope, no problem. Did you want to get in line now? And I'm thinking,
it's crazy.
It is. It's insanity.
It's so crazy. All right. So we gotta move on because we got limited time here with Aaron, and we want to talk about. I know I hate it. I'd love to spend another hour, but
you know where our office is?
That's right.
We'll
see you soon.
I've been there. Yeah.
For barbecue and chitlins at Verusen. But hey, we're talking about Toyota getting impacted by these chip shortages as reported by the Wall Street Journal. All right. So first off, I want to make sure, so Verusen's been on Tequila Sunrise, of course, as they've gone through some successful raises. Verusen's been, in fact, they're moving up, they're rocketing up the appearance record chart because they've been with us quite a bit as they've continued to grow and really just blow up. But in a small nutshell, Aaron, let's refresh folks' memory about what it is that Verusen does.
Yeah. So, I mean, I joined Verusen in January this year, over 20 years of experience. And I did it because Verusen's doing something very unique, which really gets to one of the root causes of all these problems that we're talking about. So how does a Rolls-Royce go out and deal with 10,000 suppliers with 30,000 parts and drive that kind of transparency and visibility, whatever that means?
Right.
Are you going to go do 10,000 data cleanse projects? Are you going to everybody get on the same system? Are you going to do some sort of massive data governance thing across 10,000 suppliers? None of that's going to work.
Not for 10,000 suppliers, you're not.
It just doesn't work. And so there has to be another way. And when you think about what we do at Verusen at a very, very fundamental level is that we solve the data problem that exists in these complex supply chains. That's what we've done. So it's saying the data that's in the systems you have, in the form it's in, you call it an apple, this guy calls it an orange, but we know those are the same things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what we do. We provide that kind of visibility and transparency into materials data up and down the supply chain while you're operating on your systems of record, right? And because we've done that, we've been able to demonstrate transformative results, very short period of time using AI, machine learning. That's how we do it. But that's what we do. And because we've done that today, with like MRO, spare parts, indirect materials, that same problem exists everywhere. So it's about solving that problem all these places in the supply chain. So that's what we're all about.
It's a war on dupes, no duplicates. Also, it's the material truth. And I had to look it up. Carl, the Truth Williams, was a boxer, and that was his nickname.
That's right.
And y'all been rallying around the material truth theme, and I love it. I really think, especially in this era, it's so relevant. But we've got to. So we're big Verusen fans. I should put that disclaimer. Known Paul Noble for quite some time. Yeah. But there's two things that I want to wrap on here today. We only got a few minutes. The state of the supply chain survey. This is some research y'all have done for several years now. It's been active for a couple of months. It's still open, folks. You can still participate. But Aaron, any early takeaways or anything you'd like to share about this research?
Yeah. I mean, we're basically trying to get, once again, keep our fingers on the pulse of what people are working on, what's important. How did your priorities shift, because of the pandemic? And I would say there's a few interesting tidbits coming out there. It's all very focused on the customer. And it's interesting seeing some of the responses to date, how people are responding to that. Like, we're just going to inflate our inventories to no end, right? Or, a lot of unsustainable results. But and there's a surprising lack of, I guess, digital maturity in terms of, hey, we're doing digital transformation in all types of ways in our businesses and in manufacturing, but when it comes to managing materials, it's for the most part the same processes we were using when my career began in the 90s, right? So that's where the opportunity lies. People think it takes a long time, and so we need to, I think first and foremost, just educate folks on what's possible, right? Technology's shifted the playing field, and we can create new paradigms about how we can get this stuff done.
I love it. So y'all check out, let's drop the link one more time, just in the Supply Chain Now channel, the link to participate in the survey. Another big opportunity, Greg and Aaron, that we're going to have is this October 5th webinar.
Right.
And I'm going to share this again. So Greg, what are you looking forward to in this session? And then we're going to maybe get a couple of tidbits from Aaron.
Yeah, sure. I think Aaron has touched on it, and Paul and Daryl Liu before. Democratization, right? I think democratization is not just for the masses of people, it's for the masses of suppliers, and it enables some of these suppliers, and I've experienced this over the more than 2 decades of supply chain experience that I have. It's the long tail of suppliers that are doing it out of their garage or out of a very small facility, or maybe only provide you with 3 different items, but those 3 items are absolutely critical path to the success of your manufacturing endeavor. And I think that there is a tool set, there is a way to do this to enable the most and the least digitally advanced companies to participate in something that is so important, this connected and trusted network of suppliers and vendors and customers, and the manufacturer themselves to make sure that manufacturing occurs as it should. So we don't wind up in this situation like we have with these big automakers, right? Imagine a scenario where you have a technology that can tell you, if you do X, if you stop, right? If you stop production and you cease to commit to your vendors for the future, this is the impact that could have on you, and do so without requiring a whole lot of transformation at even your smallest suppliers. That's really the key in this day and age, because we have learned that even the smallest of suppliers can stop production, right? So we really have to bring everyone into the fold.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah, materials management, it's a bit like the forgotten stepchild of digital transformation in most companies. It honestly is. And I was talking
not just digital transformation, it's just plain forgotten, right?
It's forgotten. It's kind of, we can make a Cadillac of a plant or some sort of operation with all these technologies, but at the end of the day, a $2 O-ring can still shut your plant down if you don't have it when you need it. And we're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to fix, right? So that's what we'll be diving into.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes when we go through chaotic times, you want to cling to the old best practices, right? Those traditional best practices. And Greg, we've used this analogy 1,000 times. In fact, the hymn was just sung in church a week or 2 ago, and I instantly thought supply chain. It's that foundation. Is it built on sinking sand? Or those practices? Yeah, they might be a solid thing to do for a couple of decades even. But as fast as things are changing, as our automotive industry is learning firsthand how things have always been, it's not always going to be that way. And how your suppliers have always served you, it's not always going to be that way. Your partnership and supplier relationships have to evolve and breathe a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's something I thought about, because in my history in supply chain, I've been on the practitioner or the solution side of optimizing inventory. And what I've discovered is that as the water recedes, the rocks are exposed. That's a common consulting term, right? But as you refine and optimize your organization, you also expose yourself to potential risk if the adjacent policies or data or operations are not also efficient. And you need to be able to broadcast all of this change out into the rest of the organization to allow them to adapt as well.
Spoken like a supply chain poet, Greg. I love that. Okay, so Aaron, Aaron, you're quite a guru, and I love folks that not only can Aaron simplify things, but he should be a narrator for like these nature series. He's got like this normal, slow moving, stream-like approach to communications. It's a very comfortable cadence, Aaron. So, but let's make sure folks know how to connect with you in case they want to hear some more of that goodness that's just blowing out of your ears when you sit a certain way. How can folks connect
out of there? Yeah.
How can they connect with you and the Verusen team?
Yeah, I mean, best way. I mean, connect with me on LinkedIn is number one, and also you can shoot me an email, aaron.meredith@verusen.com, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, I think this is your third appearance here on Supply Chain Now, and it keeps getting better and better. I love what you're up to, and of course, the Verusen team. They're meeting such a huge need in the market right this minute. So I appreciate. Please tell Paul and Daryl. We got to get Daryl back on talking donuts, Greg, from a scientific standpoint, right?
Indeed, because that's what makes the world go round. Comfort food.
That's true. That is true.
Right.
Okay, Aaron, really appreciate your time here today. We're going to make sure.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on your birthday.
Hey, I woke up this morning.
Thanks for bringing the confetti.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron, have a wonderful week, and who knows, we might just see you in Raleigh a few months from now. We'll see for that football game.
Do a road trip.
That's right. Thanks so much, Aaron Meredith with Verusen. Have a great week.
Bye.
Oh man, he really is. I'm telling you, him and Bo Groover might just be separated at birth.
They might be. They look a lot alike, and they sound a lot alike, right?
They really do.
Well, I got to tell you, in full disclosure, right? I'm an advisor to Verusen and a tiny little shareholder. So, I really get what they do. And I got to tell you, the addition of Aaron to the team has been really powerful. And what I've seen in companies that I've worked with in the past, and Aaron is a clear indication of that. The people who really know the business, who really know the ins and outs of the business problem, and also have this unique gift. And this is really, really rare to have as much experience as Aaron has. He reminds me of a friend of mine named Rod Doherty, who has to have as much experience as they have, and yet to have this sort of blessing of naivete that allows them to look back on their history and ask why. Why have we always done it that way? And then come up with a new way to do it. And when you have somebody like that in the sales and implementation process, it's super powerful for both the potential client and for the technology company, because you can provide perspective as if you're virtually an independent consultant to both parties, and both parties grow from that experience. And that is the position that Aaron really, really represents really well. And that's why I love having him out there whenever Verusen is going into the market and talking about how they see the market, and then having Aaron help them translate. This is what this customer is seeing. This is what are the flaws and the features of their current approach. And this is how we can adapt that into really, really changing their business for the better.
He's quite the secret or not so secret weapon.
Well, not secret now, is he?
Well, I really appreciated his time, as busy as he and the Verusen team are, to join us today and walk us through those three stories. Greg, a pleasure. We're going to keep our finger on the pulse of all the cool things that Verusen's up to, as well as keeping our finger on the pulse of what Azalea has coming up in her move and her new chapter and whatnot. She really enjoyed the big picture view that Aaron brought to the conversation today. I agree with you there.
So where is Azalea? Where is she going to work or at? I ended that sentence improperly. My mother would kill me, but
we've got to reconnect with Azalea. We had a great sit down with her. It's been a few months now, but we'll have to reconnect and get the full scoop.
How great that Colin Yankee hit us up from the Denver airport, and Azalea is moving to Nashville just in case.
Right. That's right. All right. So, folks, thanks for indulging us on the front end of this edition of the Supply Chain Buzz. So much good stuff. It's great to reconnect with the Verusen team. Greg, I appreciate you wearing your Scott Luton colors. I love that. Channeling a little bit of Tom Selleck. With some guns.
I feel like I could be more intelligent just by wearing your shirts. Not actually your shirt, but
oh man,
it takes a special gift to get away with this. I fear that I do not have it, but I channeled it for one day.
You got it in spades. Big thanks to everyone that showed up here today. Big thanks, of course, Clay and Allie and Jada and Amanda, all behind the scenes making today's production happen. Greg, I appreciate you joining us. Big thanks to Aaron Meredith with the Verusen team. Most importantly, folks, hope y'all have a big, big week. I'm going to challenge you. We're going to challenge you. Greg's getting ready.
I'm ready.
Do good. Give forward. Be the change that's needed. Be just like Dick Rutland. This world will be a much, much better place. And on that note, we'll see you next time right here at Supply Chain Now. Thanks, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.